Good morning, everyone. A happy Thursday morning to you. I know you guys missed me yesterday. I missed you too. Unfortunately, I had to take a day off from the radio station at CBS Sports Radio Network. Was a little under the weather. Just needed a day to sleep, rest, recover, recuperate, all of the above. Really run down, really not feeling great. So rather than get even more sick, figured I'd, just cut it off right there, recharge the batteries, actually slept for once, and feeling better. So here we are, back. We were at work last night, overnight, and now we head on home. So it is Thursday morning, August 15th, 6:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a lot of little stories for you. Nothing major. We're going to continue with the NFL previews tomorrow morning. We got a lot of divisions still to run through, but just a lot of little stories to get through. Let's start with Golden Tate. All right, so Golden Tate, wide receiver, has been with the Lions. He's been with a couple teams. Excuse me. Now coming over to the Giants in this past offseason. Kind of an odd offseason for the Giants. They're not projected to be all that good. They just draft Daniel Jones, but they're still hanging on to the I can't jump off the Eli Manning bandwagon. I don't really know what's happening here. And so they bring in Golden Tate after trading away Odell Beckham Jr. It's just a really odd kind of chain of events. So anyway, Golden Tate ends up getting suspended for 4 games. Apparently has taken a banned substance where he, performance-enhancing drug that he is on the list of banned substances for the NFL. Now, came out and said, I didn't do it knowingly. If I did it, it was a complete accident. But at the end of the day, I am completely responsible for everything that goes into my body. So, he's kind of manning up, as the term would say, and kind of taking responsibility for it. He did also, not only issue a public explanation, but he really wanted people to understand why it happened, what happened, and all of the above. So he and his wife were apparently trying to get pregnant, and he took this substance that's just banned on the list, and it was something to try to aid in, getting pregnant with he and his wife. So, it's obviously it's a good thing, it's a great thing, it's the best thing ever to, try to and have a child. I have my kids, and my youngest has just turned 1 the other day, as I talked about on the last episode of DaveTalksSports. And, it's a beautiful thing. But when you're in the NFL, there's very specific drugs and medications that you cannot take. And what he took, unfortunately, on a banned substance list for the NFL. So, as he mentioned, he will take this suspension in stride. He's more hurt, and this is what he's saying. He's more hurt on the inside for this internal struggle that he has, that he feels like he's letting everybody down. He feels like that this doesn't accurately represent who he is. He didn't do this intentionally. He didn't even learn about this substance and that it was banned until later on. And he really just feels like he's letting down his teammates, his family, friends, and everyone who has faith in him to be a decent, honest, hardworking guy. So, I don't know him. He seems very sincere, though. Like I said, he'll take the suspension and he'll move on with it. Now, we're going to bounce back and forth today, a bunch of different sports and different stories, so just follow along and hopefully enjoy the ride. Brian Cashman. If you're a Yankee fan like I am, you know who Brian Cashman is. He is the very successful general manager of the New York Yankees. Now, I don't know that he's got doppelgangers out there. He's got identical twins floating around. I don't think he's got anyone who's stolen his identity. I don't think anyone looks exactly like him that he's getting confused with. And that's not even really the story. But apparently Brian Cashman was not only... This story is a little confusing, but odd. His car gets pulled over. He's driving it. Allegedly, his car was reported stolen. All right, interesting. Yet he was the one driving it, so clearly not stolen. Gets pulled over by Connecticut police, where he was. Not only does he get pulled over, he somehow gets a gun pulled on him. I mean, even if a car is stolen, that doesn't mean that the person who stole the vehicle, if they had stolen a vehicle, has a weapon. I mean, I know you have to proceed with caution, but when you see that it's Brian, I get that not every cop and not every person as a sports fan is going to recognize him. He's not a player. But in terms of general managers in baseball, I think he's pretty recognizable. And forget that. Forget him and being recognizable. Just be a cop and do your job. Like, that's the car, that's the license plate, that's the registration, that's Brian Cashman. You got his name. You should then at that point know who he is and realize that that's who was driving the car, not anybody else. So how he not only gets pulled over but also gets a gun pulled on him it's otherworldly to me. I don't even know how it is that could happen. I don't know. Anyway, on the lighter side of baseball, Yasiel Puig, right? Defected from Cuba, has just become an American citizen. So today I say, congratulations, Yasiel Puig. Welcome, officially, I guess. And I just, not much of an opinion on the matter. Happy for him. The fiery guy, plays the game with passion, jacked out of his mind. Whenever he gets an opportunity to play without sleeves, he does it. Guy mashes baseballs, and just a really solid player. Let's get into the biggest story of the day. We got a couple other stories to get to, but Jay-Z and Rock Nation are partnering with the NFL. It's very interesting. It's an interesting partnership. There's even a song title to which contains vulgarity, so I'm not going to say it. Song that he put out with Beyonce, as they called themselves the Carters, or sometime over the last 2 years, where there's a line where he says, "I turned down the Super Bowl. I don't need you, you need me." And he says something else about how, tell the NFL we fill in stadiums too or something. And now the NFL reaches out to Jay-Z and Rock Nation and asks him to basically be an advisory group for live music entertainment. So I guess that means the, pre-game, halftime, and different live music entertainment that you get at games, especially the biggest game, the Super Bowl. It's just an interesting story. It ties into Colin Kaepernick too, which we're not going to get into today. Excuse me. We can talk more about that tomorrow, because that would take up the rest of the podcast if I dive into that right now. Excuse me. Tell me I just got the freaking hiccups on the podcast. That's not good for a business, and it's not good for anybody. Well, we'll see if we can struggle through the rest of this. So, as I forget to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, my apologies. So if I get texts and calls throughout the rest of this podcast, I apologize. I'm supposed to put this thing on airplane mode and Do Not Disturb, and I do it like 98% of the time when I do this podcast, but every once in a while I forget. And now there's people texting me at 6:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on August 15th. This is the Dave Talk Sports Podcast, episode number 40, I think. I've lost track. I missed a day yesterday, so now I don't know what day it is, what number it is, but I am Dave Ettinger, your host of CBS Sports Radio Network. You can find me on this YouTube channel named Dave Talk Sports. Please subscribe right below this video and also leave likes and loves and comments and all that good stuff that you can do on YouTube. Also, find me on Twitter at Dave Ettinger2. Also on my Facebook page and website, both named Dave Talks Sports. That's me. So, like I said, we'll talk about the Jay-Z deal, Rock Nation with the NFL, Colin Kaepernick, and all those things tomorrow, as we also will continue our NFL previews of the different divisions. Excuse me. Good boy. Oh, man. Hiccups, text messages, yawning. At least I got a good shirt, though, right? Whoop. Anyway. A story that I don't know why it makes me happy. I shouldn't be happy for the misery or the dismay or the bad things that happen to another person, so maybe I shouldn't feel this way. Maybe you can answer me like this. I'll pose it as a question then. Why am I happy that Odell Beckham Jr. is injured? Does that make me a bad guy? I don't know. But I just don't like him. I don't know him personally. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know. I just don't like him. He runs his mouth. He thinks he's God's gift to the earth. The Giants are only coming to watch me. And even Eli, the most soft-spoken, never puts himself out in the public guy, never says a peep. Says, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we were winning games with those 2 rings and those 2 Super Bowl trophies, before you got there. So why don't you take it down a notch, pal? Even Eli comes out of the woodwork, peeks out behind the curtain and goes, hey, buddy, shut up. And then, does the Homer Bush back into the bush. The Homer Simpson, Jesus Christ. Homer Simpson back into the bush and just retreats as if from nowhere. Odell Beckham Jr., shut your mouth. Just shut up and play. Right? You get injured more than anybody I know. It's a problem. I don't care how talented you are. You got to be on the court or on the field or on the ice or on the pitch or on the whatever. So I would just shut your mouth until you're on the court, on the field, on the ice, whatever sport you decide you're good enough to play. Just get on the football field. All right? Okay. I got 2 more stories, quick ones, both for baseball. One, Jameson Taillon, pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I feel bad for him. Really pretty promising pitcher. Looked like he was set to have a really good year this year. And he gets injured. And you weren't sure exactly what it was. And then he gets shut down. Completely. Yesterday. He was already on the IL. He had been for a while. But it was official as of yesterday. Done. Dunzo. Tommy John. Done. So not only is he going to miss the rest of this year, he's going to miss all of next year too. So, yeah, that sucks. I feel bad for him. Hopefully he can bounce back. Other guys have bounced back after Tommy John surgery. Some of them are not the same. Some of them can be the same. DeGrom had it in the minor leagues, so he's proof that you can still be unbelievable after it. But another guy who used to be on the Mets, who I can't believe is still being picked up by teams to potentially play Major League Baseball and get paid to play baseball. Another guy who had Tommy John surgery, Matt, the Fat Man Harvey. Matt Harvey was on the Mets. Matt Harvey was a sensation. Matt Harvey burst onto the scene, had a great success at first in Major League Baseball for the Mets. But Tommy John surgery, injuries, different, most of the story, I'm sure. Just turned into a disaster. A guy, after the Mets go to the World Series in 2015, just falls off of a cliff. Is out partying, gets dumped, can't get over his ex-girlfriend. Just an absolute mess. But this past year, somehow, the beginning of the season, gets signed. It's a one-year deal, but gets signed for like $11 million with the Angels. I never understood it. Done. And what happened? Goes on the IL, comes back. He's absolutely terrible. Gets designated for assignment, gets released. Thought this season would be over. Potentially his career would be over. But what happens? The Athletics, I don't know why, and I know it's just a minor league deal, but the Athletics pick up Matt Harvey on a minor league deal. I guess they're just closing their eyes, throwing a dart, taking a shot in the dark, hoping that maybe, just maybe, there's like 2% of Matt Harvey that can actually pitch that's left out there that can give them a year or two of decent starting pitching, or maybe they figure him out, how to use him in the bullpen. I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't completely get it. I think this guy's career should be over. This is a guy who cost himself, I don't know, I want to say $100 million in the rapid decline that we saw after the 15 appearance in the World Series. Just, I don't know about sad, but just the guy needs to go away. The Athletics are going to see that this is a waste of time. He'll get released too at some point. He's got nothing left. That sun is bright. I love the bright sun. It's awesome. Anyway, this has been Thursday. This has been another episode of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. Episode, I think, number 40. We always lose count. I should learn how to count. It's now 6:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, August 15th. I want you guys to enjoy your Thursday. It's supposed to be nice, supposed to be sunny. Nice, but not too hot. So, enjoy. Until tomorrow. See ya.